All right, welcome back to the TD Sports Press podcast. We're back on with you guys on a Tuesday, January 6th. We have our semifinal preview. Super excited to get into what that looks like. Who are we going to pick to win? All those good things. We are also going to get into the transfer portal. Some crazy things have been happening in the transfer portal. But yeah, we'll get into all that in this episode of the TD Sports Press. Thanks for everyone that has been subscribed. We're trying to get to 16,000 on TikTok. I think we're going to get to it soon. So super excited to see if we can do that. So moving on, I guess we're going to get right into it. Here we go. So the first game that we will be talking about is the Fiesta Bowl. And man, on Thursday, we are going to get ourselves a game. We have Miami, who is favored by 3.5 at the time of this recording, going to play Ole Miss in Arizona. Kind of crazy. That's where the neutral site is, but that's just the way it goes. So what's going to happen in this game? Let's look at how Miami got here. Miami, they beat Texas A&M in the first round. Their defense showed out. They're starting to show the country what they're made of. What they really did and showed the world was the second round when they played Ohio State. Everyone knew that Miami's defense was that good. I don't think people realized how good the Miami defense really was. Like, they were great. Julian Sam was not able to get anything going because of that pass rush. I mean, the Ohio State offensive line was in limbo the entire night because they could not figure out how to block. So, yeah. And in Miami and Carson Beck made some big plays. He's been taking care of the football. Now it makes you this reminds me of the Miami team that we saw in late September when they went and beat Florida State like 28-10. Like Malachi Tony's getting touches. Like, this Miami team is exactly what I thought they were going to be in late September when I said they were looking different from everyone else. Now, their opponent, Ole Miss, how did they get here? Ole Miss also had a first-round game. They played Tulane. They blew them out. And then they upset Georgia in the last round. Trinidad Chambles had an amazing game. It looked like Georgia was up 21-12 at halftime. It looked like that we were going to have a rout, and Georgia was going to pull this one out. And Trinidad and Ole Miss came out in the second half, and amid the noise, the coaches going from Ole Miss to LSU, Lane Kiffin leaving, it didn't matter. Ole Miss had every excuse in the book to just lay down in the second half. They came out and won the second half, 39-35. So what an absolute game this was. So now we got to talk, or excuse me, now we got to look at these two opponents. What's going to happen here? The key to this game is what can Miami's offense do against Ole Miss's defense? And the reason why I say that is everyone's going to be talking about Ole Miss offense versus Miami's defense. That's going to take care of itself either way. What is Miami going to do on offense? Because can their defense score another touchdown? Can they get a touchdown on special teams? If the answer is yes, I think Miami's going to win this game. But if it's not, I think Ole Miss will win this. So this is kind of how I see it down. Miami scored 10 points they scored 17, but they scored with like 30 seconds to go. I don't count that. Maybe I should, but what is Miami going to do on offense? They had one good drive they put together at the end of the game. It was a great drive. Other than that, they really couldn't get their offense going. So that's something that I am keeping my eyes on. Ole Miss's defense, they cannot give up 35 points. You are not going to beat a Miami team that gives up 35 points. It is so crucial to Ole Miss that cannot happen under any circumstance. Ole Miss cannot let that happen. Now let's talk about the matchup everyone wants to talk about. What is Trinidad Chambles going to be able to do against that Miami defense? Man, it's more like, what is that Miami defensive front going to do to the Ole Miss offensive line? The offensive line play is everything in this game as well. Look what Ohio State, they could not protect Julian Sayin. Julian Sayin could not make plays with his feet. Can Trinidad do what he did against Georgia, against Miami? Is he going to have lanes? Can he be able to get out in the pocket? Is he going to be able to do those things? That's so huge in what's going to happen in this game. We can look at every aspect of this game, but this is, like I said, this is going to be a great game, Fiesta Bowl. I am going to take Ole Miss to upset Miami. I know this sounds crazy. At this time, I believe your best players are going to make plays to win the game. I think Trinidad Chambles will be the best player on the field tomorrow. On Thursday. That's plain and simple. I think he's going to make it happen. I know that Ole Miss defense is good, that Miami defense is good, I think Trinidad is going to be able to make plays with his feet. I think he's going to find some lanes. Miami likes to bring a lot of pressure. That means there's going to be some holes to the outside if he can get out there in time. That's also the other point. And Miami's defensive ends have got to keep contained. Because if they don't, it's going to be a long day for Miami's defense. So, like that being said, I'm going to take Ole Miss to win this game. I'm going to roll with the underdog. I love the story they're on. Pete Golding's telling his team it's Ole Miss versus everyone. I mean, they have the mentality, they have everything, and I'm not counting out this Miami team. I could see them in a world where their defense scores a touchdown, because if Miami's defense or special teams score a touchdown, they're going to win the game. I'm just not. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think Ole Miss is going to be able to score a lot of points. I think they're going to be up in the 20s. Can Miami put up 30? We'll see. The other key aspect to this game we haven't talked about is Carson Beck. What kind of Carson Beck are we going to get? Are we going to get the one in the 2 losses against SMU and against Louisville? Is he going to throw those interceptions? Like, is that going to happen again? We don't know. So I'm going to take the better player, in my opinion, in Trinidad. And I think that Ole Miss is going to keep her rolling here. So I'm going to take Ole Miss to win this football game and move on to the national championship without Lane Kiffin, which is crazy to me. I didn't think we'd get to this point, but that's currently where we're at. So I'm going to take Ole Miss to win straight up. I know that Miami's favorite, but I'm going to take Ole Miss to win that game. Should be a great game. All right, that gets us on to our next game that we have here. Our next game that we have here is Indiana and Oregon in a game that we already saw in the regular season. Indiana won this game 24-14 back in September or early October. I don't put a lot of stock in that game. I would say I put a little bit, it shapes my opinion a little bit. But Oregon wasn't healthy at the time of this game happening. They still had some receivers. Some of those receivers that were hurt are back for this game. Their D-line, O-line is a little bit better. Their running back situation, I've been seeing some developing events with that. I will say I'm a little bit worried about that. So let's talk about how both these teams got here from the playoffs. Oregon played in the first round. They played James Madison. They won that game 49-35, if I remember right. Maybe it was 55-35, something like that. They beat Texas Tech 23-0. Excuse me. But man, that was a whipping that happened. What Oregon did to Texas Tech, that is not allowed in 50 states. What they did to Texas Tech, that Oregon's defense is so stout. That defensive front getting after the quarterback, the Texas Tech quarterback. Obviously, if you guys want to see my full recap of the game, you guys can go back. But that Oregon defense was stifling. I mean, they could not do anything, and that's why they scored 0 points. I think that Texas Tech had one explosive play of over 30 yards, and that was the run on the 3-yard line where they just missed gap assignments, and he just went to the outside. The guy missed a tackle at the line of scrimmage. The Texas Tech back went for 45 yards. Oregon's offense didn't look the best. Dante Moore is at his best when he has the shotgun and he has quick reads. He is really good at that. Go look at what Oregon did their first drive against Texas Tech. They were going up and down the field, and then I don't know why they stopped doing that. They had some center issues. They had some snap issues. So that was all very interesting at the time. So, yeah, very interested in what that looks like. So now let's get to who they'll be playing. They'll be playing Indiana. Indiana, the road they got here, they are undefeated, and they whomped Alabama last week, 38-3. I mean, the score on that might have been too close. It felt way different than that. There was a lot of naysayers out there that saying that Indiana, they're not going to win the Rose Bowl. They're not going to play in the moment. And, man, did they not only play in the moment, they owned the moment against Alabama. It didn't matter if Ty Simpson played or not. There were some people saying that it didn't matter. I don't think it personally mattered, in my opinion, because that game wasn't close to begin with. So, that's the current circumstance with Indiana. They have the Heisman Trophy winner in Fernando. They're going to be they're hungry. Before we even get to preview this game, this might be for the number 1 pick coming April. I know that Fernando's probably going to the draft. We'll get into some transfer news with them in a minute. And then Oregon, Dante Moore has not entered the draft. He might go back to Oregon. But if he has a good game, maybe, the Raiders have the first pick. Maybe he wants to go play for the Raiders. I don't know. That's something to keep in mind. So now let's break down this game and who is going to win this game. We talk about 2 great defenses. Indiana has a great defense. Oregon has a great defense. They were both on display for us on New Year's Day. Let's look at the offenses. It just felt like Indiana looks like a Nick Saban-led offense. They're able to run, they're always in 3rd and 2. They're always in 33. It doesn't matter where this happens at. They're able to, get off the field or keep the chains moving. So that Indiana offense. And Oregon is going to find success if they are able, if they can be able to, get in the shotgun, throw those short passes, get Dante Moore in a rhythm. Because if they don't, look what happened, at Eugene. Dante Moore had 2 interceptions. Granted, it was his 5th game in the system. You got to give him some grace for that. He has gotten better as the years gone on. I think that's really, I don't think that's really, I think that a lot of us would agree with that. So, who am I going to take to win this game? I mean, I've been going back and forth with this game, and I am going to take Indiana and Kirk Cetnetti. It is almost impossible to go against this man right now. Kirk Cetnetti has proven everyone wrong. Maybe not himself. He tries to, I don't think he saw him doing this in 2 years. Maybe he did, but I mean, yeah. And like I said, I think the crucial part of this is I think that Indiana's offensive line is better than Texas Tech's. I think Indiana's offensive line is going to control the line of scrimmage, which is why I think Indiana's going to win this football game. That offensive line, the whole offensive line won the Rose Bowl MVP. Whatever that was, super cool moment. That really doesn't happen in sports where the offensive linemen get that MVP. I thought it was super cool. I know every guy in America was saying, heck yeah. So, yes, we are a PG show. I'm not going to say the other, we want. But anyway, like I said, I think Indiana's going to win this game. They might win this by a couple touchdowns. That might be a hot take. I don't think anyone can touch Indiana. Maybe maybe we'll get some more film on them. But, I mean, Indiana really does not have anything not going for them right now, I would say. So, for the time being, I'm going to take Indiana to win this game. Should be a great game. This is at the Peach Bowl. This game will be Friday night. Indiana's favored by 3.5 points. I think they're going to win the game. So, should be an absolute all-time game. And I'm going to take Indiana to win that game. Should be a fun game. So, those are our 2 game previews. Like I said, guys, if you're already at this point, make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're at 35 subscribers at the time of this filming. We're trying to get 40 by Sunday. I think we can get 5 more subscribers by Sunday. Would be awesome if we could hit that. So, like I said, it's free. It doesn't sign you up for anything. Just go ahead and hit it. It goes a long way for the channel. So, and we also had to bring this to the show, not just the preview show. We need to talk about the transfer portal. The transfer portal is open. There has been some crazy things. I'm going to get to some big signings here. Starting off with the first one as of the moment, Brandon Sorsby, the Cincinnati quarterback, will be going to Texas Tech to play football. I thought it was kind of funny. I think it was Pete Nako from On3 that said that he was really liked the facilities. He really liked the culture of Texas Tech. That's all nonsense. He went there because he got the bag. I don't know why people. I wish I know it's good PR to say the facility. No, he went there because Brandon Sorsby got the bag from Texas Tech. How far is he going to take this Texas Tech team next year? Because the quarterback position was the reason why they got beat by Oregon. I don't really fault Texas Tech's defense. And believe me, I think we're going to see Texas Tech back in the same situation that we saw them in this year. The reason why I say that, if you go look at Texas Tech 2026 schedule, they have probably the easiest Big 12 schedule as of the time of this filming. I mean, obviously, once the game starts, we'll see. Texas Tech doesn't have to play Utah. They don't have to play BYU. Like they avoid those teams. They still have to play Arizona State. We'll see what that looks like. But, I mean, Texas Tech does not have to play those 2 Utah teams. And better yet, they don't have to go to Utah. So, absolutely huge for Texas Tech. I think we'll be saying the same questions about Texas Tech going into January next year. So, I think they'll probably be in the playoff if, unless something crazy. But Brandon Sorsby is a huge addition for Texas Tech at Cincinnati. Cincinnati started the year off good. They looked like they were going to make a run to the Big 12 championship, and then after they got beat by Utah, I think they lost 4 straight, something like that, something crazy. I mean, just something you don't really see every day. So, absolutely huge get for Texas Tech. Good for Brandon Sorsby going to Texas Tech. So, like I said, we're going to be reacting to all the signings as the time goes on. And now let's go on to, this is breaking news as of the time of this filming here. Desmond Williams, the Washington quarterback, is trying to get out of his signed contract. Now, what does this even mean? So, Desmond Williams, the Washington quarterback, 4 days ago signed he was going to return to Washington. Signed a new contract. As of an hour ago, he just announced his intention to enter the transfer portal, which would be great. The only problem is he signed a contract 4 days ago. We have seen something similar with this in the Big Ten. Wisconsin had a cornerback that was trying to go to Miami and was not able to get out of that deal because he signed a contract. Now, I mean, this is wrong in every sense. I think that Desmond Williams, the Washington quarterback, doesn't know what he's getting into. It is not looking good for him. He signed the contract 4 days ago. It's not like the Notre Dame quarterback that said, "Oh, I'm verbally committing to go play at Nebraska." Then overnight he's going to sign with Kentucky. Desmond Williams already signed the contract. He already signed it. So absolutely crazy. I don't think I guess that time being, but that's absolutely crazy to me. I don't understand. Like I said, if I was college football commissioner, the first thing that I would change are these signed contracts. They have buyouts. If Desmond Williams wants to enter the transfer portal, he needs to give up all the money that he already earned or he is going to earn. Because that is not right to Washington. Washington, according to X and some people on there, they had no idea that Desmond Williams was willing to get into the portal. They had no idea that was going to happen. So that was absolutely crazy to me. You don't see that every single day. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. I've never seen someone try to get out of a signed agreement. It's kind of crazy. For example, if you're a teacher and you sign a new contract and you want to go to a new school district 4 days ago, you might lose your license for that. Like, you can't do that. So I'm hoping the ruling on this is that he has to go back to Washington. He is not able to enter the transfer portal because that is wrong in every sense of what we're trying to do here in college football. Maybe they'll let it slide. I don't know. College football has let a lot of things slide up to this point. So, and then for our last topic before we get on out of here, I want to end the best. I got this question. This is a question from one of the viewers on here. The best coaching hire of the cycle. And this has been one of the craziest cycles that we have had. We've had Lane Kiffin going to LSU. We've had Matt Campbell going to Penn State. Kyle Whittingham going to Michigan. And then you obviously have those SEC the UCF and Tulane coach, John Summerall, going to Florida. There was a lot of movement. The North Texas coach going to Oklahoma State. I think the two best coaching hires of the cycle, Penn State, Matt Campbell. Because that's one. Kyle Whittingham going to Michigan. In my opinion, those are the two best coaching hires that have been made up to this point. Matt Campbell, Penn State did everything wrong to blow that contract up. They did everything wrong. They went after Kalani Sitake. They went chasing unicorns. I said Yukons, not unicorns. Unicorns. And Matt Campbell was always sitting there. I've been advocating Matt Campbell to get the Penn State job since October. Look what he's done at Iowa State. So I think that Penn State probably is number one. Number two, Kyle Whittingham going to Michigan. There's not a better time for both parties to be where they're currently at. Michigan, they have so much uncertainty right now. There's no stability going on with the program. And Kyle Whittingham, the model of stability, good culture, tough football, running the football. This feels like a match made in heaven. What an absolute, Michigan could have planned this better themselves. This was a huge acquisition. So I think the Lane Kiffin going to LSU, that was a great one as well. But when you think about the two best coaching hires of the cycle, it's got to be those two for sure. I think Virginia Tech and James Franklin is good, but in terms of match, the best two match are definitely Kyle Whittingham going to Michigan, Matt Campbell going to Iowa State. Absolutely huge for both programs. So with that being said, that is our full 20-minute show. Thanks for everyone that's made it up to this point. If you've already made it up to this point, might as well go ahead and subscribe. Check out our TikTok. We're on X. I post a lot of things on X. We do college basketball, college football. So everything college, we are on here for you as well. So with that being said, we're going to end the show here. We will be back live. We'll be back live Friday night, Saturday morning with our semifinal reaction show, more portal news, and all the breaking news in college football. So that being said, have a great night, and we'll see you back here on Friday or Saturday.